Lady Ballers makes zero attempt to hide its conservative leanings and gleefully mocks pretty much every major issue that's been considered a sacred cow until now, from environmentalism to female
attempts to mock, I would say.
Empowerment, racial discrimination,
environmentalism, right? Oh, the left and their environmentalism. God forbid we be stewards of the earth. Oh no, wait, God didn't forbid that. He actually commanded that in the Bible. So we just got done reviewing. We did my review of Lady Ballers. I watched it so you don't have to, which will probably be the title of the video. And, you know, if you watch that video or you watch the segment just before this, you'll know that my opinion is pretty negative. I'm not the biggest fan, right? I thought it was really funny in a way that they didn't mean for it to be. I laughed at it, not with it. And, you know, I had a lot of criticisms. Probably missed a few, actually. I think that segment was shorter than I expected it to be. I forgot a lot of it. It did not stick out of my mind. It was not very memorable, if you can believe that. Anyway, all that's to say, we're going to review somebody else who has a different opinion from me, specifically a man known as the Critical Drinker. Now, I've never reviewed a Critical Drinker video to my memory. I could be wrong. And if I am wrong, you can certainly comment. You're more than welcome to scroll through my video feed and watch all of them for monetization purposes. But Critical Drinker, I know him to be like a conservative, an idiot, you know, just not a very smart or entertaining person. I take that back. He could be entertaining, I'm not sure. But from what I know of him, he's not smart at least. So let's see what he thought of this brilliant blockbuster film.
When interviewed about his work on Joker, director Todd Phillips famously remarked that he quit comedy because it's almost impossible to make anything funny in today's climate without offending someone. And well, he was kind of right.
Here we go. We're right off the bat, right? We're straight into it.
About that. I mean, really, how many times have they tried to cancel Robert Downey Jr. over his role in Tropic Thunder? How many episodes of classic comedy shows have been quietly deleted from streaming?
I really didn't hear a whole lot of Robert Downey Jr. getting canceled for that, but maybe that's just me.
Streaming services. How many stand-up comedians have had their shows cancelled over old jokes that didn't age well? The thing is...
Wait, I don't know how many actually. Can you source that?
Although movies that made us laugh, made us think, and generally poked fun at the absurdity of the human experience.
Never? No one tried? Wait, is that really a thing? Is that nobody tried to cancel Robert Downey Jr.? I'm sure there's like online leftist bubbles that have. But like, yeah, of course it was not a good thing to do. But for one, he's an actor and he was told to do it. So if you're going to get mad at somebody, get mad at the director. And for two, I think for the time it wasn't... I mean, I could be wrong about this. I don't know, so don't cancel me, etc., whatever. But I think at the time, you know, it wasn't as unfavorably looked upon. I could be wrong. I don't know, but you don't cancel me.
Experience might have gone away, the demand for them certainly hasn't, which is probably what the Daily Wire is hoping to capitalize on with the release of Lady Ballers.
The demand of what? Of offensive comedy? No, of course that's always in demand. And nobody's trying to cancel people except for like really weird online leftists and rad libs.
Comedy movie that tackles the contentious issue of trans athletes in women's sport.
Do people complain about Leonardo DiCaprio saying the N-word in Django? Funny story about that. I heard that he actually had a problem saying that word during that scene, which is really funny to me. Like, he was hesitant to say it. Like, he's like, is this okay if I say this? Is it okay? And it's like, you're acting, dude. You're literally playing the role of a slave driver. It would be honestly, I'd be more insulted if and I can't speak for black people, but if I were a black person, or even just like as I am, you know, and going to see that in theaters, I'd be insulted if they didn't make him say that. Because they threw that word around like it was a fucking common phrase, you know, like it was their job. They said that word day in and day out. You know, N-word this, N-word that. Oh, look at the N-word over there. That N-word's not working hard enough. Better whip him. You know, like, of course they did that. So I'd be insulted if they didn't say that in that movie. You know? It'd be erasure of history. Exactly. Thank you, Lady Nova. It'd be erasure of history. Very good.
The film seems to be marketed as a kind of throwback to the comedy flicks of the mid-2000s when humor was still allowed to push the...
And also, I don't remember what movie it was. Oh, it was, who did John Cena play in that superhero movie? Not Homelander. Okay, well, it was John Cena. It was playing a superhero. And so, like, there's a scene in there. Peacemaker, thank you. And I told you it's like Homelander. It sounds just like it. But there was a scene in this movie where he's like punching his dad, and like by the way, John Cena is a really good actor, like insanely good. I would not have expected that out of him. But he was like punching his dad and talking about what a disappointment that himself was. He said like he was talking about like how he hates himself or whatever. And then like his dad calls him the F slur. And if the actor's not gay, It's like, who cares? You know, like it doesn't matter. It's a movie. Of course he's gonna say the F slur. Like that's his character. I thought it was a really good scene. It was so good. I honestly, that scene alone, I saw it on a YouTube short, which I don't know how they get away with that, but I saw it on a YouTube short and it made me want to see the movie. But anyway. Continuing.
And nothing was off the table. And combined with its attention-grabbing
was off the
subject
table,
matter,
except for
it
good
was clearly
comedy, of
intended
course.
to stir up controversy and attention. But now that it's actually out there in the world, the real question is whether it manages to deliver on that promise. Well,
No.
the drinker is here to deliver his verdict. The movie centers around Rob, a once successful basketball coach obsessed with winning that's now become kind of a burnout, divorced from his wife, estranged from his daughter.
By the way, this guy is like the bad guy. He is such a piece of shit the entire movie. I hated him every second.
And with no real prospects for the future. But a chance.
Oh, another thing I wanted to mention in the review that I did, this lady right here is like falling for him again through this movie. And it's the dumbest romantic plot, like B plot that I've ever seen. It's so stupid. It's so piss poor. Like this lady just does not know what she wants. Like they purposefully make her an idiot. And I hate it.
From his wife, estranged from his daughter, and with no real prospects for the future. But a chance meeting with Alex, one of his former players,
oh shit, it's a show? I get to binge it? Let's go.
Inspires him to get back into coaching, especially when he learns of a local athletics tournament with a $5,000 cash prize for the winner. Fair enough.
Sorry, I know I keep doing this, but like, you know what? This was in the trailer.
He learns of a local
but this is
athletics
insulting
tournament
to
with
women's
a
sports.
$5,000 cash prize for the winner. Fair enough, but a misunderstanding at the entry point sees Alex entered into the race as a woman, where he proceeds to demolish the female competitors and win every event with ease. Not only does nobody object to it, but he actually gets applauded by the news media for being a stunning and brave.
Which, as we all know, happens all the time. Here, let's look up Leah Thomas real quick. For those who don't know, Leah Thomas is a trans swimmer. Let's see what's the first things that come up in the news cycle. Let's see. Fake story about trans athletes spreads online. You know what? I won't even pull these up. We'll just look at the titles. The NCAA is not taking medals away from transgender athlete Leah Thomas. Former teammate of Leah Thomas speaks out. Here, let's just look at a little bit of this. Wait, the Heritage Foundation? Yeah, okay, here, the Heritage Foundation. Let's take a look. In 2019, a University of Pennsylvania swim team informed its female athletes that Leah Thomas, a man formerly known as William Thomas, they're dead naming her, which is fantastic. Wonderful. So, sorry for, I didn't know I would have a dead name. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have clicked on a fucking Heritage Foundation link. But you guys get the point. Like, this is one of the first results that comes up in the news cycle when you search Leah Thomas. It's like, yeah, of course. Yeah, all the news cycles are praising them, right? I read all the time about all the praise they're giving Leah Thomas by dead naming her in their news article. I remember that.
Trailblazer. His unexpected success gives Rob a little idea. What if we did more stuff like this?
Always covered so
pretty soon he's
positively.
reassembled his old basketball squad, now a bunch of middle-aged losers, and entered them into a national women's tournament.
And that's what I was talking about in the last segment. You know, when like conservatives don't understand our positions, and so their entire reality is a farce. They live in a fictional universe that is made up in their heads. They are schizos, okay? I'm telling you.
Female athletes. Soon the victories, news coverage, and sponsorship deals are rolling in, but the more they progress, the more the players and their coach begin to question the ethics of what they're doing. You know, there's something weirdly surreal about watching a movie made from the exact opposite perspective of everything else that's come out of Hollywood in the past 10 years.
What?
Lady Ballers makes zero attempt to hide its conservative leanings and gleefully mocks pretty much every major issue that's been considered a sacred cow until now, from environmentalism to female
Attempts to mock, I would say.
empowerment, racial discrimination,
Environmentalism, right? Oh, the left and their environmentalism. God forbid we be stewards of the earth. Oh no, wait, God didn't forbid that. He actually commanded that in the Bible, right? Anyway.
and inclusion
here nor
quotas,
there.
and of course, transgender athletes. The core premise of the movie, that men competing against women gives them an unfair advantage and risks pushing female athletes out of their own sports, is something that's been tackled already, and arguably better.
Yeah, all of the female athletes that I've ever seen in sports look exactly like this, for sure.
Like South Park. The difference is that while South Park tends to present both sides of an issue and mocks the extreme elements of them before committing...
That is one point that he got that is almost on point. That is true. South Park tries to play the middle, and they sometimes do a really good job, and most of the time they end up dropping the ball pretty bad.
Into a fairly balanced compromise, Lady Ballers comes down squarely on one side of the issue by pushing it to its most absurd conclusion, two teams of men pretending to be women so they can compete against each other in the final match, before hitting the reset button on the whole thing. For the most part, it's not really as edgy or as ruthless with its subject matter as I expected. In fact,
That's true, by the way. He is right on that. I really did expect this to go further. You know what I mean? Like, I expected the jokes to be better. I expected them to really push the envelope, but they just, like, recapped, like, a bunch of, like, 2002 styles, again, straight to DVD comedy shit. They really did not get that creative with it.
Almost like it doesn't quite know what to do with the premise once it starts running with it, apart from showing men physically destroying smaller and weaker.
What it is probably that they wanted to appeal to like their older audience, and the edgier they made it. Like if they had, okay, so if they had made this movie to appeal to like Republicans on Twitter, it would have been a completely different movie. It would have been like 1,000% different. We're talking like 4chan levels of degeneracy, right? Like it would have been unrecognizable from its current state. But because their audience, the Daily Wire, is not primarily composed of people who are like young edgelords on Xbox Live and Elon Simpson, whatever, they're not the ones that are going to watch this movie. They know that. So they cater toward their older audience, like 40, 50, 60-year-old conservative wine moms and trucker dads. You know, they think they're truckers because they own a Ford F-150 that if you dare scratch it, they'll kill you on the spot, right? Such big, manly men they are with their pristine little cars that they have to keep free and clean of any grime or muck, right? Anyway, I digress about that. It's not catered towards edgelords in their, in their teens. It's catered towards their 60-year-old boomer parents and grandparents.
Athletes over and over again. The film is
definitely targeting divorced dads. That's both true and also really funny because the only divorced dad in this movie that I know of is the worst character. He is built to be the most hateable character, but that is funny.
Feel the need to explore the issue in more depth or complexity, which is a shame really because at close to 2 hours, it's pretty long for what it actually delivers. A 90-minute cut would have trimmed the fat and delivered better pacing.
I agree with that as
well. The actors are serviceable enough for the most part, I guess. Nobody's going to be winning any Oscars for this one, but it's pretty much the level of performance you'd expect.
Okay, the actors, by the way, like it ranged anywhere from like Matt Walsh was not bad actually. I liked him. I thought it was very funny. The kid actor was great, loved her, and I know that like they're supposed to be exaggerating and shit, but like most of the acting was garbage.
Sports comedy like this. Ultimately, though, the fate of this film is going to be sealed by one question. Is Lady Ballers actually funny? Does it make you laugh on its own merits? Or is it just coasting on the fact...
Again, I laughed at it. I thought it was really funny in what it was trying to do. I was demeaning. I didn't laugh! Listen, I know I laughed while we were watching, and it wasn't because I thought it was funny. It's because I thought it was stupid, and I was laughing at it now with it. I swear.
That it's a giant fuck you to everyone on the opposite side of the political divide. I mean, if you're a Daily Wire subscriber, then I guess it's pretty much tailor-made for you. But what about the average Joe? The guy with no real political leanings, who's tired of the endless culture war, and just wants a funny, irreverent comedy that'll make him laugh. Well, I'd be lying if I said the movie didn't get a few chuckles out of me at least, but it was mostly at the goofy physical comedy, the offhand visual gags and the quippy one-liners, rather than the heavy-handed social commentary. I mean, mocking the most extreme excesses...
Wow, I actually agree with his take on this. I agree 100%. It was not pushing the envelope. Again, it dropped the ball.
Modern PC culture should be an easy slam dunk, but Lady Ballers makes it seem harder than it needs to by labouring its points a bit too much, trying to drive home its jokes with it.
See, if your own side is calling you out for not catering to the correct audience, you drop the ball, man, so to speak. You drop the lady balls.
Explanations that aren't needed, and lingering a little too long on things the audience should have picked up already. There's also a bunch of random stuff just kind of...
Yeah, it did definitely baby the audience. It was very explainy. It had to be very explicit in what it was trying to deliver, and it like explained it way too like openly.
Thrown in there that probably seemed good on paper, like but doesn't really come together on screen. Like one character being obsessed with taking revenge on the team mascot, or a recurring gag about a guy trying to buy time alone with members of the team. None of these goofy little side gags really go anywhere, and really, they just feel like the writers threw them in to pad out the runtime. Ultimately, while Lady Ballers...
Well, yeah, I mean, like, it almost is like they were sitting around their little round table at the Daily Wire, and they're like, okay, here's an idea, right? We got the gay kid, and he's a bottom. right? And this gay kid loves dick. Okay, you don't understand how much this gay kid loves dick. Okay, like I'm talking like he will slobber that dick all night, and they're still sitting. But this is at the Daily Wire table, and he's like, okay, so this kid, like this gay kid, right? This like 18, 19, whatever year old gay kid. When I say kid, I mean like adult, but kid, right? And he's just so gay that he like loves the abuse that he gets from the basketball players. He loves it when they slap him around and throw their sweaty, grimy, musky towels on his face, and then like shove him into a locker and keep him there all during the game. Anyway, so we have that guy, and he's and they just put it. They're like, that's awesome. That has everything to do with what we're trying to do with this movie, buddy. Right? And then they just like threw it in. It's like, what? Every scene ended in sex jokes. That's true. It's so weird. It was that's the thing I didn't say in the review. It was so sexual. The whole movie was so sexual, and anybody here who saw it knows that. It was like so overtly sexual and gay, by the way. Very gay. Insanely gay. Like I can't believe I forgot that in my last video. Like, it's fine, but like it was so gay. And it was uncomfortable, but it was funny because like I got uncomfortable a little bit, but mostly I was just baffled. Like if I were a Daily Wire fan watching that, I'd be like legitimately uncomfortable. I'd be like, what the f are you doing? Anyway.
Certainly not the worst comedy I've seen in recent years. It's not on par with the mid-2000s classics like Dodgeball, Anchorman or Tropic Thunder that it seems to want to emulate. This movie is very much a rough gem, the imperfect first attempt of a company that's still finding its feet as a movie studio, trying to take...
Okay, that's where he lost me. This thing is not a rough gem. It's like fool's gold. At best.
On multiple different genres all at the same time, and probably finding out that it's a lot harder than it seems. And it's kind of a missed opportunity when I think about it. Like, if your aim is to crack the Hollywood echo chamber and capture that all-important middle ground of general audience appeal, you're unlikely to do it by creating one of your own. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
Okay. Well, can't believe I'm saying this, but I agree with most of what the critical drinker said. They really did not do much with this. They flubbed it. I think that they could have done a much better job of making fun of the transes for no reason. I mean, I make fun of trans people, and I'm funny when I do it. My transphobia is hilarious. I don't know what the Daily Wire is doing, but maybe they'll learn one day. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more, hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload. If you enjoy my content, you enjoy what I do, I really appreciate any financial help that I can get. Go to youtube.com/AlecGunterTTV/join. You got some awesome benefits, such as seeing early videos, awesome emotes that you can use in the comments of YouTube videos, and a sweet badge next to your name. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'd really appreciate if you join. It is cheaper than the cost of a blowjob from your mom. So with all that being said, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.